Hi everyone, this is Cyaned. This is a whole video of it's a compilation of old lost media videos. And the whole compilation is about the lost media that's still currently lost. So hopefully these will be found someday. I hope you enjoyed the video and I wish you all well. Thank you. Some Call Me Johnny is a well-known Sonic the Hedgehog game reviewer. I've talked about his lost videos in my SGB Look Back at 3D Sonic Games video. Besides his 3 missing videos, there are several earlier videos missing from his channel. One supposedly talking about the origin of the Sonic Hat, aka Tailsaw. But in recent years, a few of his older videos have resurfaced. One being his original SGB Shadow the Hedgehog review, although it's partially found with no audio. Another recent one was his animation reel that's been discovered. Hopefully someday, someone will probably come across more of his earlier videos. Gaming Wildlife used to be a semi-popular channel that was well known for its "if blank was 100% honest." Unfortunately, something happened to the channel that would lead to a downward spiral, and their videos were met with mixed to negative reception. One video I do remember was a now deleted video, which I think it was called Gaming Wildlife Presents If Girls Were Honest, where it showed a couple arguing at a restaurant. The video was left with negative feedback, but was quickly deleted soon after. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to download the video on time, and no one has yet to mention the video. This dude was a popular dub channel that existed back in the days of early YouTube. He was well known for his SpongeBob dub videos, especially his infamous Michael Jackson 3.1 dub. Unfortunately, while some videos were archived, his SpongeBob dubs remain missing to this day. So I remember this YouTube channel very well. Back in 2014, there was this channel called Fatal Accidents, which is mostly known as Raw Leak. They were known for uploading car accidents and other fatal accident videos. However, the channel was terminated in 2017, and the videos were temporarily re-uploaded on another channel before they ended up getting deleted as well. The original channel owner has made an update claiming that it was going to bring the channel back one day, but nothing has came up. Okay, I'm gonna need help with this one. Recently, I found a lead that would help find this old Minecraft video. I was searching my YouTube comments history, and I recently found the comment I made back in 2013. However, the video has been privated for unknown reasons, and I tried searching for any information on the Wayback Machine and the page source with no luck. I did, however, parody this video in my creepypasta video, and the Minecraft video basically went like this. So my guess is that maybe it was up before July 2021, before the unlisted videos ended up getting privated by YouTube, but there's really not much to tell. Does anyone else remember this video? I'd like to hear any suggestions or leads that would help with the search of the video. If anyone remembers the name of the channel, can you guys let me know? I'd like to get in contact with the channel owner and talk to them. One can only dream. Epic Gamer 365 was once a popular reaction channel that once reacted to YCPs and other funny similar content. He was kinda like Charmix in a way, and he was popular throughout the early days of reaction channels. For unknown reasons, he delayed his channel, so we don't know exactly why he delayed his content. He's still very active on Twitter these days, and some of his content has been found, but there's still videos missing to this day. So I do remember this channel existing, which I talked about in my obscure iceberg video. So this channel made a ton of videos, but the two videos he specifically made were Sonic Adventure 7 and Sonic 3D Blast 5. And one specific thing I remember about these videos is how the YouTuber punishes these games by sending it to hell. I'm not even joking. In fact, it went something like this. Yeah, if I remember correctly, he also made a video begging for money, so, I think he wanted to buy an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One. I think that's how he got his channel terminated. At first, I thought it was Ali RX that made the videos, but after reviewing it, his content is not related in any way. I'm sure someone else remembers the videos back when they were at their peak. There's one more thing I wanted to bring up for this video. It's been almost 10 years since the release of Gravity Falls, and there's a ton of Gravity Falls content out there. There was this one video, however, that I just remembered that I don't really see anyone bring up much, so I had to do a bit of research for this one, and as it turns out, in the episode Dipper vs. Manliness, Dipper rides the back of a Minotaur. The music used in that episode, it kind of sounds like Crisis City from the classic one from Sonic Generations. In fact, there was actually a video on YouTube comparing both songs, but for unknown reasons, the video is no longer up. I'm pretty sure that Disney either took it down or it's private or something. I wouldn't know. But as of now, the video is lost to this day. This one I've happened to come across both on Reddit and the Lost Media Wiki Discord. Supposedly, back in 2010 to 2013, a radio commercial aired on 93.7 JRFM, a country music station located in Vancouver, Canada. The commercial started with no background music, and a male voice was talking. He was describing a young girl who was either deaf or blind, telling a tale about how the girl was riding her school bus one day, only to have it catch on fire. She, in some way, saved many of her classmates' lives from the fire, yet they can't remember how they saved the lives. But the commercial ended with the man saying something like, "And she saved her classmates that day." Imagine listening to Christmas music with the 1 minute, then hearing this weird commercial the next second. Kinda reminds me of that WKCR hijacking broadcast. I couldn't find much information or any similar broadcast, but considering that Canada has messed up PSAs, I wouldn't be surprised if this one existed. So this next one is something I've experienced as a child, and it might interest those who speak Spanish. So, I've explained this in my Obscure Iceberg video, but growing up, there was these Pizza Loca commercials that aired around the LA County around the late 90s to early 2000s. Some commercials have been uploaded onto YouTube, but one I clearly remember is a child ordering La Gigante pizza all to himself. The commercial was nothing too special. The kid walks up to the counter, orders a pizza. He even extends his arm to explain how big he wants his order of pizza. And the commercial ends with the child eating the slice, which I always found this weird because, like, why does he want the pizza home to himself? Like, it's kind of weird when you think about it, but it's something that's always stuck to me, and I don't really see it get mentioned much. I've been searching around for commercial compilations and TV archives, but I haven't found any luck yet. Hopefully someone has it saved out there. Beyond Twisted was a 2009 Fox show created by Harvey Levin Productions. When it first aired, it was incredibly popular with audiences. Basically, the show was about a dude going out to the streets, showing funny online videos to random people, and getting their genuine reaction. However, when more episodes aired, they were replaced by two rather infamous guests. Let's just say nobody liked the two hosts. It was to the point where they started receiving hate mail, and they actually thought it was a bright idea to read it and insult the viewers. Sadly, there's no screenshots or episodes online, and any information is almost non existent, which is really a shame because I wish someone actually had an archive recording of this show. I actually remember coming across the show when I was young. It's too bad no one ever even talks about it or mentions it. So, I found this interesting post about a missing Nick Crowley video, which I've never heard about until recently. From the found clip, it seems like a harmless video about a simple donut run. Although I would have to assume that maybe it's been taken down for personal reasons, but doing a bit of digging, although there's not much information in the Wayback Machine about the said video, there are several videos that have been privated for unknown reasons. To this day, the videos remain partially lost. So, remember when the 2000s had this weird fascination with boy bands? As it turns out, there's supposedly lost music for the Jack in the Box boy band, and yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Doing some bit of research, I went to check and see if they still have any music online. And while they do have some music archived, and alongside with other things like a recent review, a couple of song titles, and some lyrics to the song. Supposedly, the songs are very rare. Like, despite the amount of research I've been going through, I've stumbled upon the website. It required a username and password, which is weird. Although the music had a limited release, most of the music was lost. You know, the site kind of reminds me a whole lot like BooskaTube, but stupidvideos.com is a site like YouTube where you get to upload funny dumb videos online for the LOLs, but while there is a playlist archiving the old videos from the site, most of the content is considered missing, which it's really a shame because looking at the Wayback Machine archives, it really gives off the old YouTube vibe, pretty much in the modern internet era, but sadly it's been shut down since 2016. So this is something I just found out recently that I thought I'd throw this in here. Growing up, I used to watch Sesame Street and a bit of Plaza Sesamo. I also remember playing Elmo's Number Adventure on the Nintendo 64. Those were good times. Anyways, it turns out that a lot of these international versions of Sesame Street are partially lost. The most interesting version is called the Chinese version of Sesame Street. Considering that they've aired a lot of episodes, it's kind of sad that a lot of these are considered missing. Hopefully someday they'll be found one way or another. No way, I can't believe I forgot about this guy. So in case this doesn't ring any bells, ShroomTube was the pioneer of lost media content. Right before I discovered L Supersonic Q, I discovered ShroomTube's content, somehow, and I was honestly hooked. I just recently discovered that a lot of his content is still missing, and it really saddens me because had it not been for ShroomTube, I wouldn't have had an interest on lost media. Doing a bit of research, apparently he thought his videos were cringy and he felt guilty for reading off the Lost Media Wiki articles without any nuances or on the subjects he discussed. The good news was that a decent amount of videos have been found, but unless someone has any more archives out there, it remains as lost to this day. So this one was recommended to me, and I thought I'd talk about this for a bit. In 2018, a YouTuber by the name of Ross Hacks, currently known as Traplo Ross, made a Ready Player One rant. From what I've been able to research, he was a movie reviewer and somewhat of a comic book fan, but ever since 2019, he's rebranded his channel. Anyways, it's come to my attention that the Ready Player One video, alongside the past videos, I've been taken down due to copyright reasons and being embarrassed by them. He's even made a tweet saying that it's long gone, to which, well, damn. That's not really hopeful, but unless there's someone out there that has any archives, then it's truly lost forever. This one I find interesting because despite how popular the YouTuber was, he has content missing to this day. The Odd Ones Out is well known throughout these days, and someone on the Lost Media Wiki Discord has archived the majority of the videos. With that being said, he still has videos missing to this day. A few examples being Drawing Tomorrow's Comic livestream, James' Birthday's livestream, which was a test stream, I guess. Make It Funny, a video which, if I had to guess, it's probably an update video, and supposedly one video being lost. That being pi equals 4 explained. With the Odd Ones Out being that popular, the chances of finding his content is greater, but we'll have to wait and see if anything comes up. So, if it wasn't bad enough, not only was the original Food Fight movie partially found, but supposedly there was a video game tie-in, as well. Like, why? If it's real, then I mean, at least they had high hopes for the movie. But unless there's more information about this, then I guess we can like speculate what the video game tie-in was about. Speaking of movies, this is something I came across while doing some research. Christopher Christopher P. Jacobs was a longtime filmmaker and lecturer on film at the University of North Dakota. I noticed that most of his films have not been publicly archived, and any attempt of finding any of the films he directed, well, it turned up nothing, although I've been able to find a couple of trailers and a partial upload of the 2004 movie Miss Mystic. Although on YouTube it's titled a bit differently there, so. But from what I've been able to tell, it seems that at some point there was a time when you would able to purchase the movies from either the college store, the producer themselves, or you were able to rent it on Blockbuster. But unfortunately, those options aren't available anymore because well, he died way back then in 2017, and all the Blockbuster stores are all gone. And I tried doing some deeper research into this, but I wasn't able to find any more information, and there's no legitimate way to purchase these films. Although I did find some Wayback Machine archives. So unless there's a way to view these films in its entirety, um, as of now, it's considered lost to this day. So, I recently noticed that some topic channels on YouTube had their music removed from the platform, saying that it's not available anymore. This was a problem for a while now because at some point you weren't able to watch some videos from the country's region, which is which was a bad thing. Anyways, I'm not entirely sure if it's a copyright thing or maybe licensing issues. I've been asking around for some answers, and From what we've been able to deduct, it's probably due to licensing issues, or because given there's no explanation of the sudden disappearances of these songs, it's kind of confusing to say the very least. I've even kept track of some of these songs, which I've been locating them from Korean Simpsons channels, and I've added them to the playlist, but despite all that effort, some of them are now lost to this day. Recently, I've noticed that some of these songs have been re-uploaded, some even retitled, and have been credited to different artists. For example, this one by NFNG is a slowed down version of the song, which has been retitled and credited to a different artist. Another one called City Saloon has been renamed and recredited to a different artist, now called By Push by Bunny. Until now, these songs are most likely lost, but given that I've recently rediscovered some of these songs through research, I'm gonna have to try my best to find them again. We'll see. I don't know why, but what is it with Fox shows being lost and all? Murder Police is a 2013 Fox animated comedy created by David A. Goodman and Jason Ruiz. It pretty much consisted of 13 episodes, and from what I've been able to tell from the synopsis, it kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode where they were watching the show Police Cops, but it kind of gives off the American Dad vibe. Anyways, it seems that all 13 episodes are missing, and the intro is the only thing that's been archived. If I had to guess, it didn't seem as popular because, well, some animated Fox shows around this time period, they weren't received well. So it's a possibility that it may have been shelved forever, although it's been rumored to air in India. Damn, why you gotta give me that ShroomTube nostalgia? I'm going to leave a link to the YouTube video in the description, since they mostly cover more about this lost show, but basically, Reunited was a 1998 TV show aired by UPN, and it was considered the lowest viewed TV show in its time, because it didn't really do well and the critics did not like the style of the show, although partial clips have been found. And there's literally no available episodes online. Although there are plot synopses available, but as of now, this show is considered lost. So, this is something that's very interesting, which I'm gonna cover right now. It seems that Mr. Nightmare has a few lost videos, and they can be proven here. Although they've never resurfaced, they are privated now, and doing a bit of research, it seems that he has other deleted videos as well. And luckily those videos have been archived and saved. What is it with Peppa Pig and violent videos? It literally reminds me of that one drama from years ago. So, apparently this exists. Yeah, from the screenshot alone, it's pretty much a kid giving Peppa Pig a plush surgery, which kind of reminds me a lot like SMO. Kind of has that vibe going. But they also have several lost videos as well, but apparently people in the community are more interested in the surgery video. Well, if it's out there, then pretty much it's out there. but it's pretty much lost to this day. In 1948, there was a lost cartoon show produced by Paramount's famous studio division for their Noveltoon series called Cat O' Nine A-List. Although there's nothing about the plot synopsis, supposedly it starred Buzzy the Crow and an unnamed cat. Surprising enough, a 35mm night reel was discovered in UCLA library, and there's some evidence to prove its existence. Although we're not entirely sure if the film will ever be released, at least it's properly archived. While trying to search for an old Sonic video, I accidentally found another one that was also missing, so I re-uploaded it. The lost Sonic video I'm bringing up, however, was a video showcasing all sprites, unused content, and the video ended off with using the unused beta music, which kinda looks something like this.
Inside your heart, you will find a special place to align. When you feel right, look at yourself. Inside your mind, you will see cosmic eternity.
I haven't had any luck trying to find the video, so unless someone has it archived, it's still lost to this day. I was kinda surprised to hear that a lot of Chavo de Ocho episodes were considered lost up to this point. Growing up, I used to watch the show around 6 in the afternoon, although around the same time, The Simpsons aired, which it was kind of difficult to choose between those two shows. But yeah, Chavo de Ocho, for those who aren't native to Spanish programming speakers, is a popular sitcom, which it was incredibly popular within the Americas, both North and South. Not to get the 2006 version confused. A lot of episodes are considered lost, and despite efforts of trying to find the episodes, they have been taken down by both Univision and Televisa. Even Florinda Mesa, who played Doña Florinda in Popis, expressed interest into finding these episodes. Although, despite her connections, she hasn't had any luck yet, so... Despite those rumors as well, a lot of episodes will probably remain lost, even the ones from Chespirito, which is another popular Spanish programming show, which is considered lost in time, so unless anyone has like any VHSs out there, then it's probably lost to this day. I know CN Rio gets a lot of hate and all, but I feel like this is worth mentioning. A few months ago, I watched a video from a YouTuber called Connor the Waffle, and he was talking about the CN Rio era. And one of the shows he happened to mention was a show called Bobby Says. Basically, it was about the guy who he was hitting the streets to advise the public on many things they should avoid doing. And after finding out that our Jimmy's head was lost at some point, I was curious about the show itself. Like, yeah, it may not be good and all, but like, it kind of reminds me of another show that has a similar premise. I'm going to bring up two other Fox shows, and the first one I'm going to talk about is The Chamber. This is a lost 2002 Fox show directed by Don Weiner and hosted by Rick Schwartz. Basically, the show is about a contestant, and well, they would be given a category with contestants, then going back and forth, giving an answer that fits a category until one contestant gave an incorrect answer, repeat the answer, or I guess they took too much time answering. At which point the opponent would score a point by giving an additional correct answer. I don't know, it sounds complicated from what I'm reading it. The main goal was that each player has to answer as many questions as possible and to remain in the chamber as long as possible, ultimately until they won the game, until they can last all throughout 7 rounds. Although, given the controversy that the contestants could possibly get hurt from the chambers, and with the lawsuit from the hypothermia that one of the contestants suffered, plus with the negative reception, only 3 episodes have aired, with the other 3 episodes being still lost to this day. Okay, this is actually new to me. So, KidsTube is an alternative, moderated video sharing website meant for young children. So basically, if YouTube Kids existed back in 2008, it was described as anti 4chan and very good, clean, wholesome fun. Which I kind of get what they were going for, given that the internet back then was very. I guess let's just say it's not very wholesome. As far as we know, there are a lot of missing videos on that site, since the site shut down in 2014, with many videos still missing to this day. It's kinda interesting how many YouTube alternatives were there back then, given that stupidvideos.com and Booskatube existed. The internet sure was a mysterious place back then. Oh wow, this brought back a lot of good memories. I actually remember their top 10 worst knockoff game consoles video. Back when top 10 channels were still popular, there was this one channel called Tat's Top Videos, and they were mostly known for this intro.
This video contains disturbing content, violent content, and scary content. Viewer discretion advised.
For some reason, they've deleted a lot of their videos. That, or maybe YouTube, has taken down some of them. Although, in the top 70s Disappointing Games Reloaded video, she has stated in the comments section that she wasn't very happy with one of their videos. but regardless, a good number of them are still missing to this day. I briefly mentioned this in my body swap video, the iceberg one, and I actually do remember there being a Spanish dub for this commercial. While the English dub is still out there has not been any uploads or mention about the Spanish dub commercial, which I'm hoping people out there in the Spanish community has seen this commercial. So this one is interesting. I'm a fan of the Back to the Future movies, and it's interesting to hear that there's some piece of lost media. It was made only because of Marty's behavior in the beginning of the film, and yeah, I can actually see why. Sadly, it fell under obscurity, and there seems to be no leads to the search, despite the attempts. YouTuber Strange Australian covers this well in his video, and there's a possibility that it could exist. Unless Michael J. Fox or anyone else confirms this, it's either lost or unconfirmed. Okay, this is interesting. Apparently there are lost Disney animations, like Toy Story 3. No, not that Toy Story 3. There's also Monsters Inc. 2 and Finding Nemo 2. I've actually heard about the Monsters Inc. 2 rumor, and let me tell you, I honestly would have cried if we have met Boo again, like in her deathbed and all that stuff. Honestly, that would have made a great sequel. Anyways, there's been leaked content such as scripts, concept art, and even a draft animation. I hope that this ends up getting found by some point. I recently found this out while watching the SML Iceberg video by Mill City Reviews. But it does mention a few lost SML videos in this iceberg, such as Mario and Tony, The Wiggles, and a few others. Probably some from even the Super Mario Logan 2 channel. But if they were lost, I feel like the SML re-uploader channel would have found them by now. Surprisingly, a few videos have been found by SML Reuploaded himself just recently, so who knows what other videos are gonna end up being found in the near future. Speaking of SML, there seems to be a lot of videos from Froggy Company, which is pretty much the inspiration to SML, which then they had beef with SML. You can actually learn this from the SML Iceberg I talked about earlier. And because of their beef with Logan, it kinda led to their termination in 2010. Thanks to Jane and Amy's research on the Lost Media Discord, there's not much archived, and it's believed that 90% of their media could be lost forever. Then again, I don't believe that's the case. There were other websites during that time period, so I'm certain that there has to be a few surviving videos. Who knows? I'm sure they'll be found someday. Remember that? Yeah, I kind of feel old now, but like, with the multiple searches of internet images such as Jeff the Killer and the Smile Dog image, this one I found interesting. Apparently, this came from a lost Flash animation, although the existence is still unknown to this day. Even back then, I'm kinda curious myself where the image came from, but like, we'll probably never know. It's kinda been a while since I've seen a Rebel Taxi video, but I've heard that he has a few lost videos. Even some collab videos that are missing as well. But then again, a good amount of them are between from the year 2009 to 2010. So, I'm guessing it's probably more difficult to search.
What you making there, Gravy?
It's a pipe bomb, Jobriath, for to blow up Planned Parenthood.
I don't know, Gravy.
I'm sick of your lack of faith.
But Gravy!
I'll be honest, that's pretty much the only reason why I add this to the video. Looking at the Lost Media article, this kinda reminds me of the early days of YouTube, where people used to make like dub or abridged content. Pretty much like Team 4-Star or like that one Michael Jackson SpongeBob 3.1 dub. And I think Sonic X even had like a ton of abridged dubs. I kinda like how they also call this the You Dig dub. Kinda reminds me of that Big Green dub from Dragon Ball Z. It's a shame that some of them are like lost to time. This is a lost Japanese arcade game from 1979. Though the game is considered lost, there is gameplay footage of the game. One that's been recorded from the real hardware, and other footage recorded from an emulator. In 2018, one arcade cabinet was sold on the Japanese Yahoo auction site, but it is unknown who made the purchase. Because of the lack of popularity of the game here in the United States, it is unknown how many cabinets are there currently in the public. Yeah, I actually heard about this, and I think L Supersonic Q covered this in his recent video. Supposedly, it was an offensive ad made to promote their chicken strips. Like, the commercial in question is a young black woman boards on a plane with a chicken, and like the flight attendant is like collecting trash. She reaches the woman's like chicken, and she responds with, "You better don't." Surprisingly, this goes back to the year the ad was aired, where someone in the forum talks about the ad. So it should exist. I feel like this would have a better chance of being found if people were to search like through commercial compilations. But I don't think there hasn't been any luck yet, so This is something that was also mentioned in the Lost Media Discord. So, according to the OP, Bunny Maloney is a French kids cartoon, in quotation marks, that aired on Compilation in the United States. Due to the poor archival practices, many of the episodes remain lost. While the French dub is entirely found, a good number of English dub episodes and music videos are still lost. But the search still remains. Throughout the past few months, even Saberspark covered this show in some detail. With that much publicity, I'm sure the chances of finding the show would be much greater. Not to get confused with the Switch game. Like, dude, this actually gives me Animal Crossing vibes. I kinda like the art style. Sadly, one of the creators of this game, Alec Holouka, sorry if I mispronounced the name. Yeah, he pretty much ended himself. Like, all we have left to the game's content is the screenshots, concept art, and video footage, and some archives. With little to no update, maybe someone's out there would have any, like, more archives or stuff like this. I actually remember watching that Kenny Launderdale video on YouTube, like talking about the show. He actually talked about the lost aspects of the show and did mention a channel that kinda archived it, but I can't find it anymore. Like, I'm guessing that the channel was either terminated or maybe they closed the account? I don't know, but like, a lot of the content is still considered lost, and it's unknown if William Winkler Productions will ever release the Harmony Gold dub. Time will only tell.
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Remember that? Yeah, that's so much nostalgia. Apparently, there are lost Boomerang bumpers and promos, which is surprising because it was popular back in its day. Before the whole rebranding. From what I can tell from the article, there seems to be a mix of partially found or lost bumpers between the years 2000 to 2014. It's surprising that a modern channel like Boomerang has a lot of lost content, but like, I'm guessing through commercial compilation videos, they can be found. Of all the 26 episodes, only episodes 2, 3, 5, and 6 of the anime have been found. This is a 2012 Animax dub, which once aired on Animax Asia, a TV channel owned by Animax. The company is also known for producing quick and cheap dubs, so it's unknown if they ever released a home version. I will say that, like, hearing Osaka not speaking in a southern accent is like, it's somewhat cursed. Like, it's like listening to a whole different dub. While the Latin American show is not lost, some songs are considered lost, such as Números and En Donde Está el Pulgar. There are even unconfirmed songs out there. Kinda interesting, but like, it's unknown if the songs are ever going to be released in Spotify, given that Anthony Field did reveal the promise, like, he would release them, but nothing came up from it. I came across this on the Lost Media Discord, but I actually remember this from a while ago. But, like, remember a while ago, there was an attempt to find, like, the Wicked Witch of the West episode from Sesame Street? Well, it turns out that there's also a Lost Sesame Street episode, one that covers the topic of divorce. With some of the audio and footage archived, I can actually see why this never aired. Unlike the witch episode where, like, it's basically a creepy evil witch, this is, well, like, how do you approach the subject of divorce to a child? Like, one that's young and doesn't understand, like, what their parents are, like, they don't understand why, like, their parents are separating. As of now, the episode is still a loss, but I feel like there's a less likely chance it will be released.
Meanwhile, in a floating sky raft in Russia...
I actually can't believe I laughed at that. I mentioned the offensive dub for Davy and Goliath, which I found interesting and funny, but like, I never expected to come across another related dub, one that's aimed toward Christians. Yeah, so thanks to my YouTube recommendations, there is possibly a Christianity dub for Dragon Ball Z. No, I am not kidding. Like, this is actually real. Even interesting, this apparently existed 4 years before Team 4 Star, like, made their abridged parody. I even managed to find a Reddit thread talking about this, and it's interesting how there are possibly other episodes. Like, is Frieza a Satan or something? I would actually love to see that. Anyways, hopefully someone out there who probably worked on this has any information or copies of the video out there. Made by Jess A. Ayam. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. This gained popularity within the X forum of 4chan. The story goes that an anonymous person tries to get his friend's laptop repaired that was infected by an unknown virus. The unknown virus created unknown images, with one of them having the phrase, which is binary for God. After a little while later, the OP stopped updating, only to return in another thread, and broadcasting on Twitch before disappearing once more. Supposedly, the image originated from the Nostalgia Critic, of all people, and Spanish YouTuber Joka recently made a video talking about the whereabouts and interviewing Jess, the creator of such images. Though, I recommend watching this if you can speak or understand Spanish. But hey, another W for the Spanish community. Anyways, if he ever regains his photo bucket account, hopefully the original image will be found someday. Speaking of Jess, this was also made by him, basically a sequel to God's Face. Soon after creating another thread on 4chan, proving his identity, he decided to spend the night at his friend's house, where paranormal events were occurring, and they even started the live stream to capture the paranormal events live. The same Joka interview gives a little detail and events about this live stream as well. Whether this will be found or not is unknown, but he will give an update to Joka should he discover anything, and he's even planning on making a video of his own someday. You know, I never covered history when it comes to lost media, but I'll give it a shot. I saw this on the front page of the Lost Media Wiki, and I found it interesting, given that it talks about Caesar. No, not that Caesar. No, not that Caesar either. Lives of the Caesar covers the first 12 emperors, and other topics like wars and ideologies. The lost aspects when it comes to lost media. The wiki mentions at the intro, which includes a dedication to Septicus Clarus, that was mentioned by John de Leyden in the 6th century AD, has become lost. Additionally, part of the start of the first ruler's biography, Julius Caesar, has also become lost. Given that these are old works of literature, it may never be found. This may be unconfirmed, but given that any form of lost media could exist, yeah, this is gonna be a long one. I've heard that Bill Watterson had this rule where he forbids merchandising of any sort, and yeah, I can actually see why. Regardless, I did a little digging on the Calvin and Hobbes wiki, where he wondered if there could be like a possibility of creating an animation or cartoon show. But like, to quote the wiki, it was a little scary to think of hearing Calvin's voice, although he loved the visual possibilities animation had. With that being said, the Lost Media Wiki quotes, Disney allegedly got Eric Goldberg, an in-house animator of theirs who had recently finished working as the lead animator for the Genie in Aladdin, to make a pencil test as a way to experiment on how Watterson's characters would have looked like it animated, with the test featuring Hobbs stretching and steering from a nap. It got a positive response from Watterson, although he later passed the idea because of Garfield. RIP. Supposedly, there is some evidence that's saying that it could exist, with an instructional animation handbook written by Eric Goldberg himself, stating the following: just for yokes, imagine if you got the secret dream assignment of many animators do a 30-second test of Bill Warson's Calvin and Hobbes. If you can figure out a better place to get your poses than in Warson's beautiful, practically animated already drawings, then good luck for you. Of course, that's all word of mouth. Maybe it did exist, but unless they can actually provide truth and or say that it's confirmed or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Ah, yeah, Bad Apple. A classical musical piece of internet history. This is a remix of one of the soundtracks for the fourth Touhou game, which was uploaded to Nico Nico Douga. Mew, a Nico Nico user, drew a few storyboards which, I mean, they said that there's mixed reactions, but some artists were inspired by these and created music videos with them. Anera, another user, created the music video in the shadow art style. And yeah, obviously this is the most popular one out of all of them, but interestingly enough, there's an extended version which was shown in live shows at events, and only slight footage exists from these live events. I would actually like to see the full version, but it's unknown if it will ever be released, unless more video footage exists. I am a huge fan of alternate history, and looking at the Lost Media article, I'm only aware of one YouTuber on this list. I heard this guy had a mental breakdown, and for some reason, I watched one video. Yeah, I gotta stop watching YouTube videos every time I fall asleep. Autoplay is weird. Anyways, the idea of the series was that four people, were to talk about, discuss about, and even argue about alternate history and what led to these points and whatnot. Episode 1 was basically, well, it involves World War II and a certain German group. Episode 2 does supposedly exist, given that it can be viewed in a playlist, but we'll never know what it's about. For all we know, it could be something about a rich billionaire shooing down Santa Claus, or whatever. So it seems like Pig Gamer beat me to this when it comes to covering this video. But you should know, dear viewer, I also recently came across this on a Jaden Salads video, talking about traumatizing videos. So he kinda beat Gamer by a few months. I'm sure everyone knows about the duck song, wanting his grapes. Why? Because that duck has to eat grapes. He has his priorities straight. I barely seen any parody videos based on this song, but I'm not surprised that parodies exist. What surprises me is that people actually hate this song. And I actually know someone on Discord who pretty much hates this song as well, so yeah, wait until I tell him that these duckfail videos exist. So yeah, parts 3 and 4 are currently lost, and if you've seen either videos of the first two parts, Yeah, it kinda gets dark. Supposedly, part 3, it has more content. In Pig's Gamer's video, he actually does prove that there is more content to it. So, unless part 3 is re-uploaded, we can't confirm it exactly until we see it. Speaking of Pig Gamer, and yeah, sorry I had to steal this entry too, but like, it was not my intention because you'll see why in a minute. Anyways, he also mentioned that in this video, there's this video that was recreated by Luke Inspire, and what surprises me about this one, I think I've actually seen this video. Yeah, like finally, there's like lost media I can finally talk about, something that I've been able to witness. But yeah, anyways, Luke Inspire recreate this video called Weird and Ugly Cats. Basically a video showcasing several weird and creepy cat images while the Meow Mix song plays, in a low quality like tone. Gods, something about these old creepy images like this gives me the creeps. Like, I know we have AI nowadays, but like, this is something that can't even mimic about these images. Like, even if it tried. So, this is my experience with this video. Back when I was a Jehovah's Witness, we used to have like these household meetings, and every like Thursday, and an old friend of mine used to share like these YouTube videos on their 2000s computer. Like, and every time we like visit her after those meetings, um, she would always show us like these jump scare videos. I honestly hated that part, but like, hey, at least that's how I discovered the Nintendo On and like the PlayStation 4 videos back then. Anyways, I'm pretty sure she showed us this video. The thing I can only remember about it, it's like all I can remember is like the creepy vibes and like knowing that there's like a possible jump scare. I like looked away from the computer, so like, but I'm pretty sure this would have existed. If it's still on YouTube, maybe it's under a different name. I might even try to find this video myself, maybe to bring some closure to this mystery. I recommend watching Pig Gamer's video on this, because he talks about it more in detail. It's a really interesting video.